Okay, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining in. Today we are going to be talking to two of our top fellows, people who got placed, your seniors, I'm hoping, about how and what their journey was like, and how they basically landed the jobs that they did. So we have Yakrutik and Gaurav. If you could just like wave because there are hardly any cameras on. If we could have some cameras on, guys, it will be great to see a few faces. But so we have Yakritik and Gaurav with us, and I will be putting them on spotlight as we speak. Thank you so much, Akshay, Satvika. Amazing. Thank you so much. Piyush is always a pro. He's always with his camera on, which is very nice. Thank you so much. Okay. I will put you on spotlight. Give me 1 minute. And Gaurav, you as well. And since I'll be asking the questions, I should add myself as well to the spotlight. All right. Welcome to the both of you. And this is going to be like an interactive session. So whoever has joined on the call as well, you can please put in your chat, put in your questions on the chat. And as and when we get time, we will keep asking them as well. I'm sure some of yeah, I'm just going to mute some background music. Yeah. So just make sure that we will ask your questions, but they might be the questions that we're going to ask anyway. So, might not be able to take them immediately. All right. So, welcome, Yakritik and Gaurav. First question for you guys is actually a fun one. It's just to, if you can just quickly tell us about your journey so far. What's your background and basically what got you guys interested in product management?
Okay.
I can go with Gaurav. Yeah, Gaurav, you can go first. Yes.
Sure. So yeah, I graduated in 2019 from BITS Pilani. Post graduation, I worked at Wipro for 3 years as a software developer, and like during those 3 years, like I thought I wanted to do something different from software development. I didn't want to continue as it as a long term option. So I did some research and I talked to my friends who had made switches from software development, and one of my friends who had done his course through Nextleap, he suggested that you can give product management a try and you can do this course. He also gave me a referral code for a discount. So I I took up that option and I applied for Nextleaf's product management fellowship. I did that from May to July of last year, and like while going through the course and learning more about product management, I it just made my decision more firm that this is something I want to pursue as a future career option. And post the completion of the course, firstly I started looking for internships because getting full time roles in the current job market without any experience was very difficult. Like they are not looking for candidates without experience. So I switched to looking for internships, and after completing two internships for a total of 6 months period, I applied for a full time role through Nextleap only, and I right now I'm working at a cybersecurity firm known as Sequoia 7 in Pune as an associate product manager.
Okay, that's great. Thank you so much, Gaurav. Yeah, Kritik, over to you.
Hi guys, I'm Yakrutik. I'm from Hyderabad. I was a student of NIT Rourkela until recently. I've graduated recently. I have dropped out for 2 years in the middle to start my own startup called PingMe, where we have built a one-way anonymous chatting platform similar to WhatsApp. The only difference is if I text you, you won't know my identity, name, or phone number at any cost. And during my startup journey, I was very excited to solve real-world problems using first principles thinking and building solutions for those problems. Figuring out the core why behind a problem and building a solution from the scratch and following through the complete life cycle of the product is what excited me, and that got me interested in product management because it's an intersection of design, engineering, and business. And I have found that Nextleap is a very great start for my career as a product manager. It gave me the practical skills and the knowledge required to start off and make a good foundation.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Yakritik. And a question again, like a follow-up question in my head is basically how many interviews did you have to like go through when you actually before you actually landed this interview and the job that you did? So, Gaurav, first, can you tell us? Like,
Mm.
even your internship ones, you can count as
Yeah.
interview, of course.
So you have to go through lots. Like it's a exhausting process because you have to keep applying. You'll keep getting interview calls. You'll keep facing rejection. So I like so for internships also they are different constraints. Like even if on the profile they have put up internships, they look for people with experience in product management. They will not look for freshers. So that is also the some internships have that preference. So like for my first internship, I must have at least uh, had like at least 12 to 13 interviews before I landed my first internship. For my second internship, it was a slightly lesser number, like maybe 8 to 10 before I got my second internship. And and my full-time role, so that was a lucky one. It was the first job that I applied to, and things aligned, interview went well. So that was like the only one I had to give for before getting a full-time job. So yeah, it's like for if you don't have any experience, it will get the callbacks will be less, and even the interview stages will be difficult to cross because even if your theory is good, and if you can even if you can show that you understand things well, they will want to have a like something on your resume to show as hard proof that you can actually do those things which you have said. And because of the experience that I gained to the internships, it was much easier for me. I got more callbacks, and I was able to get more interview calls while I was applying for a full-time job. Yes.
And did you like make your portfolio, Gaurav? And like all the things that are required? Like, we also keep harping about the portfolio, but I think last year also we had the portfolio ready and we used to have like a portfolio page for all our students. Did you like work on that, or it was just your internships that helped you?
No, so if you don't have any experience, then portfolio is the only thing that will show that you have done some product work. So in that way, portfolio is very important. For example, when I joined a cohort, so the one of the first things they had was an optional LinkedIn challenge to post product teardowns, and it was optional. But if you had posted on LinkedIn, basically you were building your own portfolio that way, because you could put that on your portfolio page, and you can show that I have an understanding of the product, and I'm doing product teardowns of different products in different use cases. So I know I have an understanding of what product management is about, what the users like, what how a user feels for that particular product. So that was a very good addition to the portfolio. Similarly, the graduation project, so that itself is a business statement which in many interviews they'll just directly look at the, since it's highlighted on the top of the portfolio page, that is what they'll ask me, like, can you explain what this graduation project is about. So if you have done it sincerely, then you can explain every aspect of it, and it's like it is all the stages of product management, user discovery, uh, finding out who the users are, if the solution is if the problem is a valid problem, doing the ideation for different solutions, then figuring out which is the best solution, and also how, if you will implement it, how will you scale it. So everything is there from it's very end to end. So that is one thing, one thing that is very important to back you up if you don't have any experience. And even if you have experience, it's just additional that it shows that you have done some work.
Hmm.
And the good thing about Nextleap is that the portfolio page was there by default. Like, we didn't
Yeah.
need to, like, on LinkedIn you'll find that you can create your own portfolio by looking at XYZ, or through, like, you can copy mine. But if there's a default template, you can just see what other top followers have done, follow similarly, and it's like it has lifetime access. So this is something I'll keep updating, even like further down the line in the future years. My portfolio page will be the Nextleap portfolio page only. So yeah, it's very useful for me.
Cool, Gaurav. Yes, yeah, Kritik. You, how many product interviews did you have to give before
Yeah,
landing?
I've gone through three companies before landing a full-time role as an APM.
Okay.
Adding to what Gaurav said, it's very important to have a prior experience if you want to land a role. If you don't have prior experience, do personal projects. Personal projects help give you an edge when you don't have any prior internship experience. I had an internship experience, and also I have a experience in personal projects, also in product and also in AI. And my previous startup helped me a lot. Added to that, I have built a very strong portfolio. I did every teardown all the 6 weeks, what Nextly posted, and built a strong personal brand, which is very important. Basically, I left no stone unturned to get this.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much. Saurav, I see your question. You were saying that you have 8+ years of experience, and um, do we have to undergo internships? And if yes, what will be the remuneration for that? Basically, my answer, or you guys can also take turns to answer this. My answer for this would be yes, internship would be beneficial for you if you are not from a product background. But because you have some experience, even if it's in a different field, for example, if I'm like from HR or community management and I want to switch to product management, it would be beneficial for me if I had a few internships in my like role, or my portfolio has to be that strong, because there are a lot of fellows that have experiences elsewhere, in different streams, but have their portfolio strong, just like Gaurav and Yakritik said. They need proof that you can do the stuff that you are saying that you've learned, right? They just need like practical proof of, okay, have you done a tear down? Have you, what do you mean by, like maybe doing an RCA? Do you even know what an RCA is? So all that basically they just need proof for. So if you already have that, I think it is going to just be a plus point for you guys. Um, what can be the expected stipend? That varies from companies to companies. Some companies actually pay interns really well as well, for their internship experience. If they are actually thinking of maybe taking you on as an intern for 3 months, a lot of companies do that now, right? And then if they like your work, and then they can put you to a full-time role. That's also a lot of companies that they do, right? So I hope I've answered your question. Um, um, You were asking if we can expect what kind of stipend we can expect. Like I told you, it varies. I really have no clue how it varies, but yes, there are a lot of companies that pay very well as well, in terms of 70K to 80K as well for internship roles, which I know of. But also, you have to be that good so that they pay you that well, right? And you can always negotiate even in internships. That this is like a misnomer that you can't, you should. And of course, if you can take out time out, you can do it with your current job as well. There are a lot of people who do side hustles also. Yes, you can do that sort of that. And but you just need to let your employer know that you're doing this. Both the employers. That is just code of ethics. Okay. Yes. All right. So just to understand one thing more, is that from your experience, what are the skills that basically companies are looking for in these interviews, and what do they expect from candidates? So like, for example, when you gave the interview for secure layer, right, Gaurav, what kind of interviews, basically, if you can just highlight a few different kind of interviews that you had to give, and so that we know what kind of skills also they were looking for. I think Gaurav is frozen. Is he frozen for me or for everyone?
He's frozen.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, yeah, Kritik, why don't you go ahead? I think he's going to join back. Or
Yeah.
maybe. Yeah. Go
So
ahead.
companies expect us to be skillful and competent in Figma, basically the design side of things, and writing PRDs, and importantly, more effective communication. We have to work with them and make them feel that it's fun to work with us. We have to engage with the interviewer in the interview process. It's not a question and answer thing. It's not an interrogation. Both the interviewer and the interviewee must work together to brainstorm in the interview, for the particular case study that we are having. The interviewer looks for candidates who can decrease their workload, and if the
Hmm.
candidate is the right fit for the product role applied,
Okay.
we should also look for the same as the candidate. If the company is a right fit for us, with regards to the stage of the company, and the job responsibilities and the career progress.
Okay. So like, what are the like different kind of product interviews, like the interviews that you had to give, like in a process, right? The first is usually an HR round, then so what are these interviews that you gave for the current job that you've landed?
Yeah. So first, I had an exploratory call where they ask about ourselves on call. I started a startup earlier and I was interning as a PM intern. So that's what they ask in the call. The It's a short call where they just get to know about us briefly.
Hmm.
Then they will schedule a call with the PM, which is the first technical round. where they'll ask these questions more deeply, and more importantly, they'll ask about what our contributions are in the previous experiences and the roles we have done. Uh, we have to explain them, and they'll in the first technical round they'll also give a situational based case study to work on. And the other company which I also applied for, Recycle, asked an RCA question. The question is, uh, a SaaS B2B health tech dashboard platform, and our clients were not able to understand and utilize the dashboard. Find why it's happening. So we have to work and engage with the interviewer to find out why this is happening. And the following question was to explain what product sense is. And after answering it, at the end of every interview, this is important. They'll ask if we have any questions for them. We have to do the research of the company and the role and the responsibilities beforehand, and we have to ask any doubts that we have, and it will create a very good impression that we have done our work and we are interested in the company, and we are we have taken the ownership of it before even joining the company.
Got it.
And the
Okay.
last, and they'll give an assignment, and the next technical round will be the assignment discussion followed by a cultural round.
Got it. All right. Okay, so that's like an extensive process. And I'm sure like they don't call out the interviews like we have like interview prep in our modules, but it's not like it's a given that they'll tell you that, okay, we are going to have a guesstimates round tomorrow or an RCS round tomorrow. It's just going to be like you're going to have an interview next, and then the interview, what kind of interview is your game to figure out, okay, ye kaun sa interview chal raha hai,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Okay, awesome. I'll just take a question from Satvika. As a product owner, should I know how to draw in Figma or just understand the usage of Figma mocks? You think you can? Yeah.
Yeah. So, can you please repeat the question?
So the question is basically she's asking if she should know Figma very well. She should know how to use and draw in Figma or just like the usage of Figma mocks.
Uh,
About a tool, basically.
we need to know Figma very well, and the very advantage with AI revolution that's happening right now is you need not be highly expert level skillful. You can use AI to augment your intelligence and use the AI design tools to use your existing knowledge and the AI's knowledge to do the work necessary. So
Okay.
having that works as well if you're not an expert at Figma.
Yeah, got it.
Uh,
Got
so
it. Yes.
I would like to add to that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I dropped out for internet
No, no,
issues.
that's okay. That's we all have internet issues. It's fine. Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah. So I'm not particularly skilled at Figma. I know basics, and like I can do basic things. And main thing is you should be able to work with a designer. Like uh, uh, the 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 company will have designers. The design team will make the Figma designs for you and the screens for you, but you should understand the basics of Figma, how to navigate, like, and how to explain it to them, how what you want. So that basic understanding is required. Expert level will depend on requirement, but for me, like I'm not an expert at Figma, so yeah, until now I haven't faced much issues just by doing the basics. So that is my take on this question.
Thank you, Gaurav. And actually, I also have like I agree with both Kritik and Gaurav. It's good to know the tool, but it's not like a like your managers are not expecting you to know Figma. You're a product manager. Your managers are just knowing your that you know a way around the tool, any
Yeah.
tool that you're using. Not particularly Figma. There will be a lot of tools that you'll be using, so you should just know your way around them. Also, yes, I wanted to ask you, Gaurav, what are the different kind of interview rounds that you went through? Yeah, Kritik's already answered that. So if you could let us
Okay.
know. Yes.
Okay, sure. So the standard is 3 rounds. First round will be either guesstimate or RCA round. Second round will be either product strategy or it will be technical, and third is the final HR round. So these are the three basic rounds that I encountered. And in the first round is always half an hour long. So if
Hmm.
it's an half an hour interview, you can always know that it will either be an RCA question or a guesstimate, because only those questions take that much time. The second one, depending also on the hour on the interview length, you can probably figure out how long it will be. If it's like a half an hour, then you can say okay, it will be a technical round. They'll ask some technical questions. If it's an hour-long interview, then you'll know okay, then it's probably a product strategy question, or it will have some discussions related to product.
Oh,
and the third round is the final HR round. So that is, it takes 10 to 15 minutes, but yeah, it's also scheduled for half an hour, so that way you can figure out what it will be.
okay.
And yeah, and sometimes the assignments that they give to do, so either they will give it to you, sometimes they'll give it to you before the first round itself, that you do this assignment, and then they will ask you questions based on that, or they'll ask you after the first round when they see that you have problem solving skills based on the guesstimate or RCA, then they will give you the question to solve. And once you solve those questions, then the second round will be based on that. And if you, the the assignment that they'll give will be a full-fledged product problem, like it is very likely something that they are facing in that company. They have solved it before, but they just want to see whether you can approach it with the same direction or not, and yeah, basically for to judge your product sense.
Got it. Okay. And actually, 1 minute. I think Ayushi had that question. What are the questions that they asked you in the technical round? Is something she's asking. Since you're already answering, let me know. Um,
So technical, basically they'll ask, uh, so they'll ask all the concepts of agile, since you'll be working with the tech team. So they'll work in agile. So they'll ask, do you know what agile is? Do you know what Scrum is? Do you have any experience with project management software like Jira or Confluence? Do you know what a sprint is? Do you know what a sprint velocity is, etc.? Everything related to agile. And basics of tech, like do you know what an API is? uh, if you have to share requirements with the tech team, how will you explain it to them? If there is a technical issue, how will you understand, how will you explain it to someone who is non-technical? So basically, those types of questions they'll ask during the technical interview.
so basically, it's very basic technology that you need to know,
Yeah.
just because you have to work with a lot of
Yeah.
techies in order to build a product, right?
Yeah, it's mostly just you should know what, like how agile works, and you should be able to explain technical concepts to other stakeholders,
Got it.
because they won't have time to understand the technical stuff. You have to just tell them, okay, this is happening, A is happening because A is not happening, B is not happening. You just have to tell it that way. There's no other option when you're working. So yeah.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, Kritik, do you have an answer for this? Did you have a technical round? I'm sorry, I don't remember.
Yeah, I had a technical round.
Yes.
Uh, After giving an assignment, uh, in the technical round, they asked about what my previous projects did and that. In the technical round, they asked about my uh, an RCA question where they gave the question was our company has a SaaS B2B health tech dashboard platform, and our
Okay.
clients are not able to use it because they aren't able to understand it and utilize it well. What is the root cause of why this is happening? Uh, and we have to work to the with the interview to get to the answer. That's
Got
the
it. Okay. All right. Cool. Okay, and if you guys remember, what are the like the some of the questions? Some of them I think you mentioned, but if you remember, what are the questions that you usually got asked in different interviews? So even if it was something to do with the assignment, if you remember what the assignment was about, if you can share that, and what kind of questions, in the sense, if it was a guesstimates round, if it was related to the assignment, you can just go a little bit deeper as to what the assignment was about, and then what the questions were that came to you, so that it helps people here just to understand what kind of questions you got. So yeah, Gaurav, you can go first if you would like.
Sure.
Yes.
So, guesstimate was a basic. I was one. I remember two. So one was very basic. Uh, the most basic question: what is the number of Android phone users in India? So that is a standard, and that was for an internship. So they didn't take it, like they probably asked just for the sake, just to see if he knows what a guesstimate is. Then for a while applying for a job interview, one was very tough. So basically, it was, if there is a residential building and there are 100 floors, how many elevators does the building require? So in that you have to understand, like how elevators work for very high, for buildings with very high number of floors. Like elevators don't go from 1 to 100, they go from 1 to 25, some go from 25 to 50. So understanding how many people will live in the apartment, how frequently they will go in and out. So that was a tough guesstimate, the toughest one I think I have experienced. And assignment wise, so one one assignment so assignments were generally based on my work experience. So I had work experience with building user journeys to creating campaigns. So basically my assignment that I got was to basically build a user journey for an e-commerce platform that from like basically you wanted if the customer is searching for a particular thing, and after searching they found like the item is there but they didn't proceed to add it to the cart. So basically I had to build a user journey for that from an e-commerce platform perspective, and try to identify what campaign or what email will I send to that customer so that they will proceed to the next step, that is adding the item to the cart. So that is one assignment that I had. So yeah.
Okay. All right. And yeah, Kritik, what about you? Do
Yeah.
you know?
I was given to write a PRD on an inventory management platform. And
Okay.
since I have experience in AI through my internship and my personal project, where I build a digital clone chatbot of myself called Yak AI, where instead of me chatting with others, I clone myself and others can chat with using my knowledge and everything. So they gave me an extra assignment because I have this edge to create a PRD of a digital clone of a transformer using LLMs related to the company's domain, transformers. Uh, After doing them, I have submitted them. It was not exactly what they asked for. So then they asked me to create a then the pre-RD of a simulation of a transformer, and then I asked clarifying questions regarding that, which is very crucial, which I should have done it in the first place itself, and submitted a revised PRD accordingly, and it went through.
That's great. That's nice. Good to know. And while you guys make it sound very easy right now, but I'm sure you guys did your prep for the interviews. And what all platforms did you use, or how do you go about preparing for the interviews per se? Like everyone here wants to know, they are going to appear for interviews, right? So what is like the best? What did you do? Forget about the best way, but what did you guys do to prepare for these interviews that you actually came across? Gaurav, you want to go first?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as I discussed previously, in the based on the rounds only, like RCA guesstimates are the easiest to prepare for. Product strategy is the toughest. So for RCA guesstimates, so basically the first thing was the mentor sessions on NextLeap. There in every session they gave a standard approach to solve all different kinds of problems, and in that session also you can opt to volunteer when they are asking like to have a live practice. So I tried to volunteer in as many as possible, so that was a learning experience. And when preparing for interviews, I only refer to next sleep notes, like for guesstimates, RCA, product strategy, so that is more than enough. And uh, peer interviews, like practice with as many peers as you can, even if you do once like one with a peer and don't do it again with him, it's fine, but try with as many as possible. And finally the before we are able to apply through Nextleap, so they have hiring interviews where Nextleap the oh, I forgot the term.
Mentor. Yeah, yeah, the
The
mentor
mentors, yeah.
takes
The
interview. Yeah.
mentors, they take our interviews and they give us feedback. So that is also a good resource because they give proper feedback from a hiring perspective, and based on those feedbacks only I worked on myself, and I kept practicing. I kept reading the notes, and before interviews also I will like 10 minutes before I'll read the notes and refresh everything, and that is more than enough in my opinion.
Okay. Cool. Thanks, Gaurav. Yeah, Kritik, your take on this?
Yeah, I had two pair mock interviews, and prior to that, I have scheduling issues. So I used ChatGPT voice feature to prepare myself for the interview. So I gave ChatGPT a role to act as my product interviewer and ask me product questions. Uh, First, when I started practicing for the interviews, with peers and also with ChatGPT. And while I hear myself answer those questions, I realize how terrible I am at answering the questions asked and explaining the work that I myself did prior to that and putting words to my thoughts. So then I wrote answers to all those questions that are commonly asked in every interview and then practice them by answering out loud frequently. Uh, and progress is what we have to check for, and no one is
Yeah.
perfect. uh, by doing it again and again and practicing, I'm we level reach a level of communication skills that is required for the interview. And you can use if there is any scheduling issues, you can use ChatGPT's 4.0 model, which was released yesterday. It has excellent. It's free and it's excellent multi-model. So it's human-like voice, and you can give it a role to give it a role as an interviewer and practice with it.
Yeah. So like two things from this. One point, as I said, that before interview I'll only read the notes. So I have come to that level only after practicing so much. So yeah, practice is very important, as yeah, Pratik said. And secondly, like even practicing in front of the mirror is also fine. Like you just keep repeating your answers in front of the mirror, and you'll see your expressions, how you talk. That is like the simplest and one of the best ways to improve yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, I used to do this Google Meet with myself. So when I'm interviewing, or I used to record myself that, okay, this is how I'm answering and how am I looking, and okay, forget about looking, but how many times have I taken a pause, or
Yeah.
how have I answered
Yeah.
a few questions? That's why I think peer mocks work the best, because I feel like the peers tend to tell you also, be honest with you and tell you, okay, this is where you fumbled and this is what you did, more than I think a lot of people, I get a lot of questions from learners as to what if, like, for example, tomorrow Yakritik and I get paired for a peer mock, right? And Yakritik doesn't have and I don't have that experience of interviewing each other. But it's actually not about interviewing and like checking your interviewer capabilities, but how are you going to perform in those interviews? Those are the capabilities that you need to hone. Even if you do your mentor mocks, right? Once you go to the hiring manager round and the mentor actually interviews you, you will understand, okay, the interviewer also changes questions based on your replies. Just like these two said, the assignments that they did were mostly related to the kind of experience they have. I saw a question on the chat as well. Yes, they usually tend to give you assignments related to your experiences, but sometimes companies just throw like a curveball
Yeah.
at you, and like it has nothing to do with your experience,
Yeah.
but it is just something that they are looking for a solution
Yeah.
from you, and they just want to understand how you went about it.
Correct.
They don't actually concentrate on the solution as much, but your approach towards it.
Yeah.
That's how you're going to work in
Mm.
the company. So
Correct.
just keep that in mind,
Mm.
right? 1 minute. I think we have some interesting questions. So I'm just going to, yeah, Kritik is all about AI. So I really like your usage of AI, but I also saw that you replied to one of the questions in the chat that yes, there are lesser opportunities because of AI. So yeah. Is there a possibility that the interview gives us scenarios, topics? I think I already answered this, Nimisa. Book recommendations I have given to you. Did you refer to any tools for interview practice, guys? Yeah, Kritik and Gaurav.
Tools as in.
Tools, as in there are different kind of tools that basically enable you to, you know, there are a lot of websites that actually allow you to do these interviews with mentors or
No.
with other people. Did you guys
Just
do?
Nextleaf network, nothing else.
Okay. Yeah, Kritik, you?
Hi, Akansh. Sorry to interrupt. Just to elaborate on the question
Oh,
since I
yes.
asked it. So I think yeah, Kritik was mentioning about Chat GPT and then reading, answering, and then hearing himself out. So did you refer to any such tools, yeah, Kritik, which could help you frame the answer around a PM interview or anything that could help you with the prompts?
Yeah. For interview process, I haven't used any other tool except ChatGPT Voice. I used 4T model, which is the previous one, but yesterday they released GPT 4.0, which is more human-like and it is also free. Everyone can use it now. It has democratized to everyone. So use it, give it a role. Assigning a role to the model works very wonderful. Give it a role to ask and give it some context and the format which you would like to go, and let it ask you questions. The more important thing is not the question it asks. The important thing is you speaking out loud and putting yourself, giving words to your thoughts immediately as soon as it asks a question, which is the most difficult thing to do, which is what the interviewer looks for, the problem solving skills and the immediate response that you give. In every interview, they'll ask about a specific set of questions which are related to previous work experience. That is 65% of the interview. Write them down and practice by reciting them out loud, and anticipate a few questions that they ask according to what you are saying itself, and practice them. And before even attending the interview, 65% of your work is done.
Okay, cool.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I would want Satvika, if you're there on the call, could you just unmute yourself and ask your questions?
Yeah, hi. Thanks everyone. So I have couple of questions actually. So I have given interviews for this product owner position. While answering the question about previous product experience, I have told about my previous product, what it does, what are my customers, who are my customers. Uh, some company interviews they say they are not enough with the answer, and some companies say you're giving too much of information. So ideally, what should be the answer for explain about your previous product? And there is one more question that I have suffered is explain about your day-to-day activities. So I start my day with daily stand-up call, and sometimes it depends on the day. If it is a sprint planning day, I go with sprint planning activities. If it is a sprint ending day, I check all the stories and go with the reviews. It depends on the day, but I was explaining the flow actually. But they are saying this is the flow of some the scrum ceremonies, but they want to tell the day-to-day activities. How ideally it is different actually. I need these two clarifications based on your experiences. That helps me a lot. Thank
Mm,
you.
so yeah, I'll take that up. So when they ask to explain your product, so basically, uh, you it should be like as short as possible. Like what kind of customers the product is serving, and uh, what particular problem it is solving. Basically, that's what they want. What issues the customers are facing that is being solved by your product. And secondly, your day-to-day roles. So what you described is, as they said, is scrum ceremonies. What they want to hear is what things you have done that have influenced the product, like any decisions that you have taken related to design or tech or business that have changed, made any changes or improvements in the product, uh, or yeah. So any way that you have influenced the product is something they want to know, not just tracking of the activity. So that is the expectation in the second question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kritik, you want to answer as well? You want
Yeah,
to take? Yeah.
I agree with what Goro said. Uh, they expect what impact you created using your day-to-day activities. Selected if your day-to-day responsibilities are differ from day to day, a selected day where you have contributed more, and explain it to them well that this is what you have done, and this is what you are expected to do, and how you went above and beyond of what your current role is.
Okay. And the first one that she asked basically was the interview one, right?
Yeah, like to explain the product.
Correct.
Product.
What's the ideal way that she can go about to explain the product?
Yeah. So can you repeat the question? It will take time to read this question.
Yeah, yeah. So basically, one of the companies asked her to explain what her product does, and just to explain that, that was the question. If and she, I think, gave a very lengthy answer, and they wanted it like maybe in short. Uh, Satvika, is that right?
Yes, the problem is when I told my previous product experience, one company is asking for explain more, explain more. Another company is interviewer is saying that too much of information. We don't want that. Could you please make it small? So I was confused what ideally the answer should be. What is the exact points they are looking for in explaining about my previous product? Key points maybe.
So in that your product experience, it probably means that they are not getting the right answer. So one company is asking you to explain more because they think eventually you'll come to the right answer, one is telling you to explain less because they think you're not able to figure out the question and they want you to come to the point immediately. So the thing is, you haven't, like, you have to find out that right answer for your product experience, and that is what they are looking for essentially. Just that their approach is different. One is saying that okay, keep talking, you might come there. One is saying this is not what I'm asking, please, the right answer is different. So that is there are two different approaches.
Okay. Yeah, Kritik.
So Satvika, if any such situation happens, give them a very short and brief answer and ask them if they would like to delve deeper and go deeper into what they want to know about your product role and what your contributions are. If they want, they will say they are basically humans. They are not. You can just ask them if they want to know more, and
Yeah.
if they would like, you can continue, and also tell them to stop you if they don't want any more information. They're satisfied with it.
Yeah, because there is no sure short answer for this, in all honesty. Keep it brief, is what I would also say. Just keep it brief, and if they want to ask you more follow up questions, they'll ask you follow up questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. Got it. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you. Um, okay. I have a very like a fun question for you guys. I remember when I was preparing for my interviews, there were these a few interviews that used to like every interviewer will ask you, okay, tell me something about yourself, right? And I used to like prepare it for like different interviews and different companies that I was aiming at interviewing and got the interview calls. So did you guys also prepare for something like that? और मतलब you were like कि नहीं, we'll just say it on the fly कि अब जो भी आ रहा है दिमाग में तो वो हम करेंगे.
I'll go
Yeah,
first.
yeah, sure.
Okay. So I practice for this. I have a standard approach, uh, like I say, as you already know, my name is Gaurav. I tell about my education. Then I talk about my work experience. So since it's a product role, I'll talk the most recent job, what I did, uh, and from there I'll go to my software job, and in the end I'll close it with some hobbies. So basically, in that there are two three things that you have to talk. The impact is created in the starting itself, so that is where you have to put your most relevant points first, and in the end you can put some hooks that the interview can catch. Like basically, if you are ending it with your job only, then you can tell about tell your favorite product or something. So basically you have to put hooks in the starting and in the end that the interviewer will catch, and using that you can direct the interview in your favor.
Okay. Yeah, Kritik.
Yeah, at first I didn't prepare and went with the flow, and it didn't work out. Later on, I practiced it and I actually wrote the answers to the questions and also anticipated the questions they'll ask. Mostly, I tell about my startup and the impact I created and my previous internship, and then they will ask questions, and it's very common that you can anticipate it and answer those questions and practice them out loud accordingly. Again and again and again in front of a mirror using ChatGPT voice, Google Meet, anything. You must be so efficient at answering it that even if someone woke you up from sleep midnight, and you'll be able to recite it well.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
It's basically about yourself.
Correct.
Hmm.
And actually, this
Correct.
is like a starting point for every interview. Like, even if it's like a technical interview, I think the icebreaker question is usually tell me something about yourself.
Yeah.
And immediately it was like just ingrained in my head that this is what I'm going to say. And then I'm just going to, so that I don't have to think about, okay, ye mujhe bolna hai.
Hmm.
I have to concentrate on the main interview, which is like lies after this question.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay. Shweta, you want to unmute yourself and ask your question?
Yeah, hi. So I had a question, which I suppose a lot of PMs come across. So this is regarding the trade-offs with stakeholders. Um like if you are given a scenario where you will be asked how did you deal? Tell me give me an example of how did you deal with a tough trade-off with one of your project managers or an engineering manager? How would you answer that question if this question was put forward to you?
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Who would like to go first?
Mm, okay, I'll take it.
Sure.
So, in case of any disagreement, so every delivery has an ultimate goal. Like you're delivering a feature for a particular stakeholder. So that has to be the end goal. So when you have a disagreement with your project manager or engineering manager, you have to uh, you have to tell them or explain to them that the end goal is to deliver this particular feature which will solve this particular issue. And uh, if your approach is the right one, then that is how you have to convince them. There is no other way. It has to be straightforward, and it has to be like, we'll solve this problem only by this way. This is the best way. Other approaches are not working. So like, that is the only option, to be very straightforward.
Okay.
And like,
Uh,
you have to have the facts to back your decision. Like, this is the best way to do this particular problem.
Okay. And yeah, Kritik, you want to go ahead?
Yeah, adding to what Gaurav said, that is when you are right and your approach works, then the alternative that was proposed by the other person. The interviewer also checks for your agility and versatility to select the best solution and output over your own ego or your own thing. So we are not always right, and our ability to accept that their solution is the best thing and to way move forward, and that's the best way to contribute to the overall project and act as a team member. That will add points when your approach is not right, and that's what the interview is looking for.
Hmm.
Right. I would also like to add here. So basically, we have to communicate the data-driven facts to our stakeholders, as well as communicate the outcome that we are expecting, and how it will affect the end user, because of which we have made this decision, or we have come up with this solution, or we are requesting for that kind of iterations, right? So the
Yes.
outcome and data driven facts, right?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
I agree with that. That's what happens at Next Leap as well. The product manager will always begin their, opening statement to any meeting is
Mm,
that, okay, this is what the learner is saying, and this is what this will solve, and how will it affect the learner? Because
right.
that is the only point kept forward will that will actually win your battle. And if the technical person or whoever you're having this conversation with, right, has a better solution to it, and will also be a better solution if they bring the end user, the customer, in front, that okay, why don't we try this? And then as a
Mm,
product manager, you know how to go about it, right? You know what kind of data you already have, and you know what
mhm.
the pain point is actually. What
Yeah,
is the
yeah.
pain point, right? So yeah, the
I
user data
mm,
always is like this. I would say it's like this weapon that you have that you
mhm.
always use in all these conversations, and even in interviews. This is like a situational question that you asked for, right? So
Right.
this is like a situational question that the interview loves putting you in, so that they know
Mhm.
why you fret, so that they know what is your approach, right? So
Yes.
yeah,
Mm.
I think
I
what
had one more question.
we'll
Uh,
come back to you because there are other
okay,
questions
sure,
as well
sure,
if we
sure.
have
Yeah.
time. Yeah. Okay, Sudeep, please go ahead.
Hello, everybody. So my
Yeah.
question was, what are the main important skills which we should learn and put in our resume? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
that's a very open, wide. What kind of skills are you
For
specifically?
product, yes, for internships, madam. For applying for internships, what are the
Uh,
main important skills and how to apply internships right now?
Okay.
so yeah, I'll take that up. So skill wise, you can for project management, at least see like basically Jira, Confluence, Asana. These are Trello. These are four for project management. For UX, Whimsical is there. Similarly, for UI, Figma is there. Then for technical, so languages are not required, but you need to know basics. So for that, Nextly material is enough. Nothing to put on your resume, but you can do some courses, basic programming courses on through free code camp or YouTube to put it on your resume. And similar second question, to apply for internships. So based on my experience, the best callbacks I had was from for internships, Internshala, like one of the best platforms. It has a good callback return rate, and Glassdoor. These two were my go-to. And for jobs, it's like the Nextly portal and LinkedIn. Yep.
Cool. Thanks, Gaurav. Yeah, Kritik, you have another suggestion?
Yeah, for the product management skills, you need Figma to understand the designing aspects, and for a basic knowledge of coding languages, the programming languages, and you need a whimsical, and you actually need to demonstrate that you have applied those skills in your previous projects and in your previous internship and all. You need to give a proof of links in the resume so that they can click it and they can view your proof of work. Just stating skills is not enough. You need to
Yeah.
actually show that you have applied those skills, because in the interview they can't assess your skills anyhow. Before interview itself, they need to get an idea that you have applied those skills and you can do it.
Yeah.
Correct.
So you need to have a strong portfolio, Sudeep. That's
Yeah.
your answer. Even if you're applying for internships.
Like, which platform are the best for applying internships?
Internshala, they mentioned, and
Yeah.
Glassdoor. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, Bharat, please go ahead.
Not audible.
Yeah, Bharat, you're not audible.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah, I guess the really answer. So my question was do product managers need to have an idea about the data analytics and Google Analytics? As I have heard about it, that product manager need to have some basic knowledge related to that. So is it true that we need to have some understanding related to the data domain and the uh, programming domains? As I come from the programming domain itself, I work as a software engineer. So I wanted to transition into this product role. So what are your approach? Like, how would you take as a
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kritik, you want to go first this time?
Yeah. So if you have previous experience, work experience, it will actually help if you can demonstrate how you have applied those in your previous work. If you are a software engineer, for example, you need to know the basic knowledge of all the few programming language that you have applied, and using the proof of concept, you need to actually convey to the interviewer before the interview itself that you have applied it through the proof of work. Did that answer your question, or anything else you would
I
like?
think he was also asking about if they need data analytics skills, and the answer is yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
You
absolutely.
will be
For
dealing
a
with
product
data
manager,
day in, day out. Yeah.
definitely.
Yes.
Uh,
so
Google Analytics is a must.
Yes.
Understanding and applying mixed panel,
Mm.
and having amplitude is a plus. These are the three basic.
Yeah.
because as of now, I am a feature owner for a product in my organization, but it's not actually that as product driven. It's not proper product driven. There are few hierarchies where I am at the lowest level as a feature owner. So in transition to product manager, that's my question: that how the approach needs to be towards.
How
Mm.
to?
Sorry, I didn't get that.
Hello, hello, am I audible? I guess. Hello.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I was mentioning that as data analytics, I am actually learning few skills related to data analytics and PM roles. But in my organization, I stand as a feature owner. I wanted to transition into product, but the main problem I am facing is to show up my work, because I know that I am a feature owner, but I am not able to convey it to the interviewer or the interviews I am applying to. So, what
Okay.
approach should I follow for that?
You should work more on your the skills that are missing for the role that you need to transition into. So, like you mentioned, data analytics, maybe you need to work on a project where there is a lot of data involved that you said that currently in your role it is not that involved, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so actually the portfolio speaks should be speaking for your skills, in all
Yeah.
honesty. Even if you're going to transition in the company, then of course you can approach your HR and ask them to set up interview for you to go into that vertical. But if you're going to apply to other jobs out there, just make sure that your portfolios are pretty strong
Yeah.
and that you're demonstrating all the skills that were mentioned on the call by Yakritik and Gaurav till now, right?
Yeah.
So, and if you want like to practice those skills and maybe hone them better, is also work on projects so that they become better. Make teardowns, work on random PRDs, go on to a, like I remember one of our top fellows who actually got placed, Ritika De, she got placed with Swiggy. She had an interview with Swiggy and she actually messaged, no, Misho, sorry. She actually had messaged Misho's founder on LinkedIn with a full-fledged plan of this is what is wrong currently in Misho, and this is what my solution is for Misho. And this is what she had done through herself, not that she was going to appear for the interview. And that's what got her the interview with Misho. And that's what the founder replied, and they basically started doing her interview rounds. So I think that approach also works very well. So I would suggest that. Okay, Tejaswini. I think we are just going to take Tejaswini and Vivek's question. I'm sorry, but because we're on short on time. Yes, Tejaswini, go ahead.
Yeah, hi. So my doubt is like, if we are coming from a different background, do we need to maintain two resumes for our existing one, or can we add our existing experience, which is related to product? Or I mean, there is so much. Like for example, I am coming from software engineering background, so can I add my software engineering experience in my resume if I'm applying to a product role from now? Or how do
Same.
we have to tailor? Usually, even in software engineering, we have to maintain multiple resumes sometimes when we're applying to different roles, But we still have the experience section and everything, mostly same. So I want to understand that.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
I'll take that up.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
So yeah, so what I did was that since I'm applying for product role, most relevant thing that I have is next sleep. So that is what I'll put at the top, and all the points for next sleep, that all the product tear down that I did, whatever I learned in the courses, all the assignments that I have done, the graduation project, I'll put all those pointers over there and try to sell it as well as I can. The software experience also, I put it below that because most relevant is Nextly for product roles. And in software, if you have like some project management experience or some influence on the product, you can put it. But on the product resume, it is mostly about impact. So if you can quantify, then do it as much as you can on your resume. That is the best thing. Even for a developer, what impact your efforts had will be the biggest selling point.
But add your experience. Don't
Yeah, yeah. Please add. Don't
not
skip
not
anything.
add it
Yeah,
because
definitely
it
add.
helps. Any kind of experience helps. Okay. Yes, Vivek, go ahead.
Hello, am I audible now?
Yes, you are. Please tell
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. Hello, guys. I'm Vivek. I'm fresher. So I have become top fellow in the month of Jan, but I'm applying many jobs. I didn't hear that any interview call till now. So I'm facing struggling these days. But I'm actually working on my portfolio now. I'm waiting for any interview call. So what do you suggest me? Only 2 days back I came to know that we don't get any calls when we are fresher, like APM calls, associate product manager. So I'm trying for any product management internship. So do you have any suggestion?
Same as that had been asked previously. Like apply through Internshala or Glassdoor. They have the best callback rates for me. So I would suggest to applying through them only.
Yeah.
Other than that, get your resume reviewed by peers. That is the best thing. They'll point out what the mistakes are and they'll say how it can be improved. These are the two things that you can do, in my opinion.
Yeah, Kritik, you want to take that up?
I have got my previous internship through LinkedIn, so that works well. Regarding resume, uh, try to cater after reading the job description carefully. Try to cater your resume to the particular job description for whatever company you are applying. Don't use a generic resume, and the top left of the resume has the high impact. If you know the F shape, that thing will have the most impact in the resume. Try to add more details of your skills, your experiences in that section, because the resume will be only scanned for over 5 or 10 seconds. So you have to make that impact, and in the resume also give links to your proof of work, so that the interviewer can click it and actually view the proof of work that you have done. That worked for me well.
Yeah, thank you. I have a small question. Like,
Uh,
do I need to apply for only internships or else, for any associate product manager? Is there any possible way to uh, join as associate product manager for?
I feel
If
like
you can
Vivek,
find,
you shouldn't stop applying just because you don't have
yeah,
enough experience. Apply for every role. You don't
Oh,
know what might click with what company,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
in all honesty.
Thank
So the answer for that is actually apply for all roles that you can.
And one more thing that I would like to
Yeah,
add:
sure.
don't just blindly apply to the roles. Actually, contact LinkedIn. You have everything. Contact with the product folks in the company that you are want to work for, and actually develop a relationship with them. It is a very long process, but you have to start somewhere. Instead of blindly applying, there are many, for a role that you apply, at least 1,000 people, other people will be applying. So you have to actually cultivate a relationship with the folks and actually contribute something before you even get expect something from them. Then they will you will get the attention that you require, and then you can start the other process.
Also, LinkedIn Easy Apply is a hoax. I would say if you've already seen like a company advertising the job on LinkedIn, go to their company website and apply from there. That actually, I don't know, that's my notion, but chances do get better with that because there's nothing like easy apply anywhere.
Yeah, I have cold mailed about 7 to 750 people in the span of last 5 months.
Yeah. See, I mean, कुछ ज़्यादा ही है, but yeah.
Around 40 to 45 companies.
Yeah.
I
So,
have booked with all the people that I deal.
yeah. Yeah. And actually, DMing on LinkedIn about an opportunity, a possible opportunity you can see in your connections also, people are happy to connect you to them. It happens. Like if I wanted to tomorrow apply to a company, I would see my like connections and okay, am I a first connection with this person? Am I a second connection? And who is the first connection with this person? I usually tend to message those people because you tend to know the first connections mostly, right? So just message that, use that as well. I think it helps. And don't worry, everyone will land a good job. There are a lot of jobs out there, even if the market is not very good right now, there are. You all will get good jobs. Don't worry about that. Okay, I'm sorry, but we'll have to end the session. It's already 9:06. We are 6 minutes over time. So I would actually like to thank Gaurav and Yakritik for taking the time out. And I hope this session was good for you guys as well for everyone who attended. Thank you so much. And yeah, and all the best for your jobs, guys. We wish you like all the luck and success.
Thank you so much for having
Thank
us.
you so much.
Thank you,
Okay.
Akamsa. Thank you, Nextweek, for having us.
Yes, thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
guys. If possible, please arrange some more sessions like this.
They happen every month, Satvika. Don't worry.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you so much, guys.
Bye.
Okay. I will remove the spotlight.